Dillian Whyte has called out Luis Ortiz. That's right. He says that if his friend Malik Scott is unable to deal with Ortiz, then he will happily step in after that fight and, in his words, kick King Kong's ass. You have to take your hat off to Dillian Whyte for being as brave as he is and as willing to fight anybody as he is. I'm sure Eddie Hearn will definitely be looking to make King Kong Ortiz versus Dillian Whyte, since Dillian Whyte is putting his name out there. That's definitely something that Eddie Hearn will be looking at now. So, is Dillian Whyte brave? Is he crazy? Or is Luis Ortiz not as good as some of us are saying he is? Some people believe that Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko are still head and shoulders above anybody else in the division. And like for like comparisons don't always work because styles do make fights. But just as a ballpark example, if you look at Vladimir Klitschko when he fought Bryant Jennings, the fight went 12 rounds. He never came close to dropping Jennings, never really hurt him, certainly never came close to stopping him. Whereas Ortiz fought Jennings in the very next fight, Jennings was in good shape as always, highly motivated. It was the exact same Jennings that Klitschko fought, and Ortiz was able to just walk straight through him. Nearly had him out in the first round. So clearly, Ortiz is able to do certain things that Klitschko can't, and obviously Klitschko can do certain things that Ortiz can't. But from a stylistic point of view, Ortiz's style was better suited to dealing with a Bryant Jennings than Klitschko's style. Ortiz is obviously, for example, much better on the inside than Klitschko is, and that's really where he was able to beat Jennings, on the inside. So, anyway, back to Dillian Whyte as a potential opponent for Ortiz. I think Ortiz is very good, but he's not perfect. And he is old. So, there's definitely a way to beat him, and there are definitely fighters out there who I think could beat him. But most of the guys, your Anthony Joshua's, your Deontay Wilder's, so on and so forth, these are inexperienced fighters. And although Ortiz is inexperienced as a professional, because he's coming from the Cuban boxing school, he had a vast amount of amateur fights. He has seen every style conceivable during his time. And indeed, he would have seen many people like Malik Scott. That's his next opponent. And he would have seen many Dillian Whytes in his time. He would have sparred many Dillian Whytes. A very, very long time ago, mind you, but still, he will have seen all these styles before, and he will know what he has to do to deal with them. Whether his 37, 40, or 47-year-old body can actually execute against a moving target and somebody who's giving him angles and making it difficult for him to plant his feet, that remains to be seen. But again, hats off to Dillian Whyte for putting his name out there, because I'm sure there were a lot of fighters who were on edge when they heard that Luis Ortiz was going to be fighting in the UK and basing himself there. David Price, would he have taken an Ortiz fight? Will he throw his name in the hat and say, yeah, I'll fight Ortiz for the opportunity to face Anthony Joshua? You tell me. I don't know. But if Dillian Whyte manages to get past, and we're hoping a Chisora fight is going to happen in December, if he manages to get past Derek Chisora, which I think he will, I don't see Derek Chisora beating Dillian Whyte at all. And to be honest, I'm quite baffled that so many people think the fight is overly competitive. I see Dillian Whyte as a firm favorite against Derek Chisora, and I always have done. I think Dillian Whyte is just a better fighter than Chisora. Technically better, younger, taller, longer reach, much better skills. I don't see Dillian Whyte losing to Chisora at all. But, you know, stranger things have happened. I mean, Lennox Lewis lost to Oliver McCall and Hasim Rahman, guys who were not really on his level, and he did lose to those guys. But still, if Dillian Whyte boxes sensibly, I don't see him having too many problems with Derek Chisora. I'm not saying Chisora's not going to try. He's not going to make it. I'm not saying he's not going to make it physical. He will. But in terms of rounds one, I see Dillian Whyte definitely beating Chisora, probably on points, maybe even late stoppage. In a similar fashion to Tyson Fury, but probably not quite as dominant, but similar. to the way Fury beat Chisora second time round. So let me know what you think about this, people. How would Dillian Whyte get on with Luis Ortiz? I've gone on record previously in the past few days and said that I think Ortiz would beat Dillian Whyte and most likely stop him. But, you know, what do I know? Maybe he wouldn't. You know, maybe Dillian Whyte would pull off the upset. Imagine if Dillian Whyte did beat Ortiz. That would gain him a hell of a lot of brownie points. And that would make, in a sense, that would make Joshua's performance against Dillian Whyte look better if Dillian Whyte was able to beat Ortiz. That would really solidify Dillian Whyte's place as a world level contender. A lot of people don't think Dillian Whyte is world level at the moment. A lot of people are saying that this guy is European level at best. A lot of people I've seen online saying that. If he was to get a win over Ortiz, wow, that would definitely silence a lot of people. It would have to, because, you know, Ortiz is being talked about highly, and he did fight a world level fighter, a world level contender, and beat him soundly in Bryant Jennings. So anyway, people, let me not waffle on too long. Let me know how you feel about this particular situation with Dillian Whyte calling out Luis Ortiz. Drop it all in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.